Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're talking about a real revolution in AI. We're moving past AI that can just read or just see to AI that can do it all. And at the same time.
And listen, this is not just some minor update. We're talking about what some are calling a fundamental change in how AI even perceives our world. It's basically like we're giving AI senses. So, yeah, let's dive right in.
Okay, so here's the plan. First, we'll cover what this big shift is all about. Then, we'll look at how it actually works. We'll check out the big players in the game, see what it means for the real world, and wrap up with what's coming next.
All right, so first up, what is this big paradigm shift? Well, at its heart, it's about taking AI from having this super narrow, one-track mind, like an expert who can only read text, and turning it into something that understands the world a lot more like you and I do. It's about combining sight, sound, and language all into one single cohesive picture.
Okay, so now that we get the big idea, let's peel back the layers and see what's actually powering this whole thing.
The term you're going to hear a lot is multimodal foundation models. Sounds complicated, right? But it's actually pretty simple. These are AI models that aren't just readers or just viewers. Nope, they can be both, at the exact same time. This means they can take in text, images, audio, you name it, all at once. And that gives them a much, much richer understanding of whatever you throw at them.
Here's a great way to think about it. A traditional single-modality AI, it's like someone who can only read a book. That's it. But a multimodal AI, now that's like someone who can read the book, watch the movie adaptation, and listen to the director's commentary all at the same time. It's that combination of information that leads to way, way deeper insights.
So the real magic here is how these models actually fuse all these different data streams together. And there are basically three main ways they do it. You've got early fusion, where everything gets mixed together right at the start. It's super powerful, but kind of inflexible. Then there's late fusion, where the model processes everything separately and just combines a final results. It's simpler, but you might miss some of the deeper connections. And right in the middle, you have intermediate fusion, which tries to get the best of both worlds. For developers, it's this constant balancing act between getting the deepest possible understanding and keeping the design from getting too complicated.
And the secret sauce that makes all this possible, it's a really clever mechanism called cross-attention. You see, it's what lets the AI hear the words "the cat on the mat" and then actually look at the image and focus on the exact pixels that make up the cat and the mat. It's almost like how the different senses talk to each other inside the AI's brain.
All right, this naturally brings us to the big players, the titans of AI. Because believe me, this isn't happening in some quiet lab. We're talking about a full-on race to define the future of this field, and each company has its own unique playbook.
First in the ring, GPT-4o from OpenAI. I want you to think of this one as the versatile, powerful all-rounder. Its main superpower, an incredible knack for understanding the visual world. It's an absolute beast when it comes to processing documents, charts, you name it.
Next up, we've got Gemini from Google, and its claim to fame is just massive. We're talking about a context window that can handle up to 1 million tokens. Those are just little pieces of info, all at once. This makes Gemini the undisputed context king. It's perfect for when you need to analyze a giant report or even an entire code base in one single pass.
And our third titan is the Claude 3 family from Anthropic. Now, Claude's whole thing is being the reasoning champion. It really shines with complex logic, math, and coding. And what's really smart is that it comes as a family of models, Opus, Sonnet, and Haiku, so you can pick just the right amount of power for your needs and your budget.
So when you lay it all out like this, it becomes really clear. There is no single best model. It's all about making a strategic choice. Need that all-rounder powerhouse? You're looking at GPT-4o. Got a massive amount of information to sift through? Gemini's your context king. Or do you need something that can handle really complex logic? That's where Claude 3 shines. It all comes down to what job you're trying to get done.
Okay, so enough about the tech giants. What does this all mean for you, for your job, for your industry? Because this stuff isn't just theoretical anymore. Let's look at how it's already shaking things up in the real world.
For anyone who works at a desk, this is a total game changer. We're talking about automating all that tedious manual work. Just imagine having an AI that doesn't just read your report, but actually understands the charts and graphs inside it. Or, and this is amazing, you could literally sketch a website on a napkin and it could turn that into functional code. The AI is really becoming less of a tool and more of a creative, analytical partner. And this goes way beyond the office. Think about e-commerce. This tech is creating these incredibly smart, personalized shopping experiences. Or what about robotics? This is the key that unlocks the door for machines to combine vision, speech, and even touch. That leads to much more natural, human-like interactions with the world around them.
But, it's not all smooth sailing. The road ahead has some pretty big obstacles. This technology is incredibly powerful for sure, but with that power comes a whole new set of really complex problems that we have to figure out.
So before we all get carried away dreaming about the future, let's take a quick reality check. We need to talk about the very real hurdles that are standing in the way of this technology going truly mainstream.
You could almost call it the multimodal dilemma, and it really comes down to three things. First, data. Training these models requires absolutely massive, perfectly aligned datasets, and those are just incredibly hard and expensive to get. Second, the cost. The computational horsepower needed is just huge, which can cause major headaches with speed and latency. And third, and this is a big one, is the black box problem. These models get so complex it can be nearly impossible to figure out why they made a certain decision, and that creates a massive accountability problem.
But the good news is, in response to these challenges, we're already seeing the path forward. It's really taking shape around three big trends. First, there's a huge push for smaller, way more efficient models, the kind you can run right on your phone. Second, people are working towards what they call any-to-any generation. So you could give it a video, and it could create an audio commentary, for example. And finally, we're seeing a move away from the idea of one single giant AI and more towards an ecosystem of smaller, specialized models that all work together.
And all of this leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. What we're seeing is this strategic split in the field. So is the future of AI going to be one giant model to rule them all? Or is it going to be more like a diverse, interconnected ecosystem of many? A brilliant orchestra of smaller, specialized AIs? Honestly, the answer to that question is probably going to define the next decade of tech.